Good morning, Dr. Manoj Kumar. Hello, sir. Renji, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible. Ma'am, shall I stop the presentation?
Yes, the resource person joined. Hello, Manoj, sir.
Hello. Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, do you have a PPT?
Yeah.
You can open it now, sir.
Okay. Is it visible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Renji and Diana, it's already 10:30. Shall we start?
Okay, ma'am.
Sure, ma'am.
Okay. Manoj, sir, shall we start?
Yeah. No issue.
I welcome Miss Lindsay Joseph, Faculty of St. Xavier's College for Women, to deliver the welcome address.
Thank you, Swami. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the final day of National Webinar Series SPECTRA 2020. I'm privileged to introduce the resource person of the day, Dr. Manoj Kumar, Assistant Professor, Department of English and Foreign Languages, Central University of Haryana. He has published 7 books, besides having quite an impressive number of research articles and presentations to his credit. On behalf of the Postgraduate Department of English and Research Center, St. Xavier's College for Women, Alava, I extend a hearty welcome to you, sir.
Thank you.
Let me also extend a cordial welcome to each one of the participants from all over the country to today's session on tools and techniques of literary research in India. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Over to Manoj Kumar, sir.
Okay. So can I start now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So first of all, I would like to thank the coordinator and the co-coordinator of the program for inviting me to talk on this topic, tools and techniques for literary research in India. So as we know that the gathering of this webinar is having assistant professors who are my colleagues like me who are working in
Sorry, ma'am.
Yes. There must be an interruption there.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. I think he's.
so
Hello.
hello.
Hello, Manoj, sir. There was an
Yeah.
interruption in your conversation. There must have been a kind of like a network issue.
Just a minute.
Now it's audible.
Is it okay now?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay. So we actually today this topic actually this talk which we are going to discuss just okay. So actually this talk is divided. I have made a plan to start this talk and to complete this talk. So this plan is having, first of all, we will talk about the significance of the topic. of this present topic, that why today it is important that we should talk about the tools and techniques of literary research in India. And the second thing we will talk about that how can we start working with internet. Okay. The third thing which we will talk about is the types of material available online, and then we will talk about the sources which is available online in India, whether by Indian government or whether by the private sector. And then we will talk about some other sources which is available and which we can use in our literary research. Okay. So before actually starting our topic, the very question which come in our mind is what is research? So I'm not going to talk about this topic in detail. I'm not going to discuss the things in detail or the definitions in detail, because we all know that what is research. Okay, so there are actually some features which are common whether you talk about any research in any discipline. So there are some features. First, it should be systematic. The second, that uh, it should have some genuine contribution to knowledge. It should contribute something, and this contribution should be genuine. So this is the second feature. The third feature is that it should examine an accepted theory, and to revise it, modify, or sometimes it can reject it also. So we also do this kind of thing in our literary research as well. And the fourth is that applied kind, that it can we can apply any theory on this also. It can be applied on some other sector also. So these are actually some of the common features which we find in science, research of the science, social science, humanities, and literary research as well. Okay, so this actually, if you will see that literary research, if you have to see the literary research, so we find we will be agree on this thing also, that research it differs from subject to subject. In all the disciplines, we will find some variation in the research, whether in the method, whether in the tools, whether in everything. Okay, what we find that at the level of materials and at the level of tools, the research is largely different. Okay, let's have some example. If you will see in natural sciences, so in natural sciences we find that tools and the tools of natural sciences, they are observation and experiments. They do the experiments, they observe it, and then they record the data, and after that they reach on a conclusion. Okay, so in social science, what they do in social science, they actually study the man and they study the behavior of the man. Okay, so this is actually the common practice which we do in social sciences. Okay, so what are the tools actually of social science? We find that observation and interviews are their tools. They actually work on these things. Okay, and if you will see about the literary research, so we what we do in literary research, what we actually do the study of writer and his works. These are the two things which we usually study in literary research. Okay, and this natural research or social sciences research, you will find that these research are of two kinds. We find that one of them is basic research, the second one is applied research. Okay, but when you talk about the literary research, so it can be divided into four kinds. The first is bibliography and textual criticism, the second is biographical, the third is theoretical, and the fourth one is interpretive. Okay, so this is actually about the kinds of literary research. Okay, if we move further, so we find that we do the literary research, or there are four objectives behind doing the literary research. And what are those objectives? The first objective is advancement of knowledge. The second objective is broadening the mind and sharpening the critical insight of the researcher. And the third one is creation of a genuine and intelligent interest in literature. The fourth is that it can inculcate the sense that the researcher is a member of a collaborative community. So we actually having more objective, we have more kinds of research of literary research than the research in social science and in some other sector. Okay, so at last, actually, there is one statement which has been given by Falis. So I just want to conclude about the literary research by this statement. He says, I quote, research should be able to generate in the university a center of human consciousness, perception, knowledge, judgment, and responsibility. Research has to be thought in relation to the whole idea of university. It must aim at establishing a creative front and doing creative work on the contemporary intellectual frontier. So this statement he has given in English literature in our time and the university in 1967. So this is actually all we can talk in a very brief way about the literary research, that why literary research is different and how the tools, we are going to talk about the tools of the literary research now. Okay, so before starting, actually, we will also discuss about the problems of literary research. That why, what are the problems of literary research? We will discuss about those problems also. If we actually see the in the past, so we find that till 1980s, in literary research there was no any research method figure out at all. Till 1980s, there was not any research method. Means, I am talking about the research method which actually were taught to the students. I am not saying that there was not any method in the literary research. I am saying that there was not any method which was taught to the students, and this data we are giving from the universities of Britain. Okay. The second thing that in the second half of the 1990s, the issue was raised that there should be some research method in literary research, and at that time two methods were actually introduced. The first method was basic library introduction, and the second method was basic computing skills. There was actually one prevailing view which was prevailing at that time. This view was, I quote, a lot of research methods can't be taught. You pick it up by doing it. So this was a scenario till 1990s, that they were saying that we should not talk about the research methods in literary research because there are a lot of methods, research methods, and one should learn it by doing it. That's it. Okay. The another actually quotation which I am going to quote here is which is also from the Handbook of Literary Research book. The only thing you learned was from working with your my supervisor. The most useful part was going around by myself, finding out what I needed to know. So this was the scenario that one was doing this research only with the instruction of the supervisor, and supervisor, according to the supervisor, the research was going on. Okay. In 2004, the provision of departmental research training, it was actually made in Britain, and they said that every student who is doing this research, so he or she should be given this kind of training. Okay. In India, if we see, so this research training or the coursework in literary research, it was made compulsory in 2009. I am not saying that there was not any university who is not teaching about the research training in literary research in India before 2009. There were some universities, but this was made compulsory in 2009. Okay. And we actually but until very recently, research methods were not widely discussed in English studies. In many respects, this remains in the case of 2013. So till 2013, actually, this problem of research method was there. So there were actually some books which were written, and after that they introduced some research methods in English in literary research. So this was the scenario. Okay, so the actually book which I have consulted for this is Research Method for English Studies. Okay, now if there is a question that can you name some books on literary research, do you know some books on literary research? This is a very common question which we ask when we talk to the our students, or when we give a talk on this. So if you know some books on literary research, okay, you can just type on in the chat box. Do we have some students here who can talk about? Can you tell me some books which are available on literary research? Hello, you can type in the chat box. Okay, Danish is saying no such. Okay, so let's start my lecture again. So actually, this is the problem that
Excuse me, sir. Can I
yeah,
intervene?
yeah,
Sir, your presentation has gone out of the screen. Your face is on the screen because someone else was trying to present their screen. So there was a problem there. Can you just
yeah, yeah,
open your screen again?
yeah. Just a minute. Hello. Is it visible now?
No,
Hello.
sir.
No,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah, it's coming. It's coming.
Okay. Okay, so
Yes.
I was discussing that this is the problem that when somebody asks us that can you name some books on literary research, so we have some problem because we were taught research methodology in our during our coursework or during our post graduation from the books which are good in social science or which are good in some humanities, but we actually are not aware about some of the books which are available on literary research. So we will talk about those books which are available and we will talk about this topic, that why this topic is important. Okay, so here I am going to talk about a few books which are available on literary research. Okay, so the first book about which I am going to talk is The Art of Literary Research. This book came in 1993. Okay, and if we actually go through this book, so we find that there was not any chapter which was written on tools and techniques of literary research. So this book was going to talk about the theoretical aspect, but it was not going to talk about the tools and techniques of literary research. The second book which is available on literary research is Research Method for English Studies. Okay, this book came in 2013. Okay, and unfortunately this book was also not having any chapter on tools and techniques of literary research. This book was going to talk about the methods, various methods of literary research, and this book came in 2013. Okay, these are two books. Now I am going to talk about two more books. This book, A Handbook to Literary Research, this book came in 2009, and this book was having one chapter on tools and techniques for literary research. The first chapter of this book was tools and techniques for literary research, and it is only this chapter which actually inspired me to write something about the tools and techniques for literary research in Indian context. Okay, why? Because when we study this book, so there is a statement which has been made by the writer, and the writer says, I quote, this chapter is written primarily with British-based postgraduate students in mind. So was saying that this chapter can be useful for the other countries' student also, but he was going to talk about only the libraries which were available in Britain, and he was not actually. So these things were actually useless for us because we cannot go to the Britain to consult their library. So one should write something about the tools and techniques which are available in India. Okay, the next book which I am going to talk about has been written by an Indian. So this book was written by MP Sinha. This book was published in 2004. This book is also having one chapter. The third chapter of this book was Materials and Tools of Research. But unfortunately, this book was also not going to talk about the significant tool for present scenario, because we will talk that why these things are very important in present scenario. Okay, see, actually when we start any research, so these are some best practice or literary research, so these are some best practice which one has to follow. The first thing, that one should identify that what is available online. The second thing, what he or she has to do, that uh, they should make a visit to own university library or college library. And the third thing, that they should also find out the nearest research library. Research library means the library of other institution, or the library which is run by the state government or central government. So this is the best practice which we have to do to find out the tools and techniques for the literary research. But what is the present day situation? The present day situation, we are facing this pandemic and we cannot visit the library. Even our own library we cannot visit because of the danger of this spread of virus. Okay, and we don't have any access of the research library. Most of the institution, you know very well that they are closed. They have been closed till 31st July, and they are closed for around 3 months. Okay, and how then, this is the problem which come before us, that how to do research without books, because literally in literary research without books we can't do anything. Okay, so this is actually the present day situation which forces us to talk about the tools and techniques which are available online. I'm going to talk about only those tools which are available online, because offline tools are not going to help us anymore. Okay, so the one thing actually, the tools, if you are going to talk about which are available online, so the one problem is that there is a lot of sources available online, and we cannot be sure whether which source is reliable and which source is not reliable. Okay, MLA handbook 8th edition, it says that we can quote, or we can actually give the reference, we can take the material, we can quote from any source, whether it is a video, audio, or it is a Facebook post, it is a Twitter post, or it is an article, it is a newspaper article, it is a blog, or anything which is there, we can quote, we can take material from any source. But the problem is that on internet we are having a lot of tools, a lot of taking material from the internet. Okay, so for this actually, I found one training. When we are getting started with internet, so there is one training which is available on Safari. Okay, so this training is going to talk about internet and searching skills, that how you can use internet and how you can search the skills. Okay, and you can utilize those skill in accessing, finding, and reviewing the information. So this is actually the short form of Safari, that how you can get yourself skilled in accessing, finding, and reviewing the information. The link of the website is given here. And do you know that this course has been divided into 7 sections, and these 7 sections are having only 14 hours course material there. Okay, 3 sections are very important. The first is planning a research, the second is searching for information, and the third is evaluating information. Okay, when you will click on this link, so you will find this kind of actually page there, this kind of web page there. It says that it's the Open University, where these 7 sections are available. And I told you that 3 sections are important. This course is available unfortunately only till 2nd September of 2020. So you can do this course when you have to find out some material and when you want to evaluate the information. We will also use one example, that how you can find out, how we can evaluate the information. We will use one example in our talk also. Okay, the second course which is available, which can enhance your internet skills for literary studies, is Intuit's virtual training suite. This is also available online. You can do this course and you can learn that how you can use internet. Okay, this is also going to talk about planning, conducting, and evaluating searches. Okay, so now there are actually 2 examples which we are going to take in using how we can getting start with the internet also. So Google is a very important tool. Google, whenever we actually open internet, so we start with Google. Okay, so there are some techniques, maybe that you are aware about those techniques also, but as we are talking about the using internet, so we are going to talk about that how you can make your search specific on internet. Okay, so when you actually search something on internet, so we found that there is a large number of hits return. We find a lot of pages there. We usually find out the material in 1, 2, or 3 pages, and after that we leave the things. Okay. And why this happens? Because we are not delimiting our research. You can delimit your research by language, domain, national, territory, date range, type of material, and file format. After that, then you will find that the number of hits that will reduce. Okay. The specific actually some marks, for example double speech marks you can give to find out the particular combination. For example, if you are finding out the fiction of Amitav Ghosh, so you can just put that thing into the double speech marks and you will get the results only of that thing which is quoted there. Okay. The another symbol is can be used to find out the synonyms. The you can, if you want to exclude something, so you can use the minus sign. If you want to include something, so you can use the plus sign. And if you can use all these symbols to refine your research, your search. Okay. Then you will find that most of the web pages, they remain either invisible or buried, because there is a lot of web pages which is opened after your research. So after your search, so what you have to do, that you can use the advanced search option, which is also given when you search something. So there is advanced search option which you can find out. Okay. So there are some specific search engines also which you can use of Google. For example, if you are trying to find out some books, articles, and reviews, so don't search it on Google, simple Google. You try to find out it on Google Scholar. The link is given. Okay. Then Google Book Search. This is also if you want to find out some bibliographical details of the book. So try to find out there. You will get those results only. Okay. So now we are actually going to talk about Wikipedia, and we are evaluating its data also. That why, because whenever we try to find out something about any writer or about any work, so the first thing which comes before us is Wikipedia. Okay, so we will talk about this by using the skills which we have talked about in Safari. Okay, so we find that Wikipedia, it's a big source. What we find here, we find authors' biographies, we find the bibliographies details also, and we find external sites links which has been given on the page. We find that what is the problem with Wikipedia, that it is having the frequency of updating and editing is very high. Anyone can go there, log in there, and then can edit the material. Okay. And this reflect the recent development before any source. Okay. And if you want to how Wikipedia works, it can tell you that how these things are working. And there is a chapter third, finding Wikipedia's content important for effective searching. So there you can learn that how you can find out some effective search there. Okay. So username and password is required to contribute and to participate in discussion forum. Okay. And there is one more thing which is given on the Wikipedia page, that is cite this page. So this tab is there, and if you will click on this, so it will give you the handmade citation of the page. Okay, you don't need to anything, you just copy and paste the things. Okay, but what is the major challenge? The major challenge is that data can be inaccurate, it can be out of date, it can be poorly referenced or incorrect. So we cannot actually quote from any data which can be incorrect, which can be out of date, or which can be inaccurate. So this is the problem with Wikipedia. So we can evaluate these things. So what can we do if we have to actually find out some material on internet? We have to use those websites and database where the editor or editorial board or quality assurance is clearly mentioned. We have to quote only from those things. Okay. And we can learn this thing from the Intuit's Internet for English, the reference I have given. There is a complete judge section. You can just complete it, and after that you can learn that how you can find out the correct information or accurate information for your research. Okay. So the thing which I am going to discuss is managing references or citation. We actually use this thing, references or citation, at the end of our writing dissertation or writing research paper. But this thing is very important. One should be very careful about this in the beginning. because what happens when that we complete our research and then we don't have the proper references and citation, and it's because of the lack of these things, our research is that is very poor. It cannot be actually, without them we cannot call it a research. Okay, so this there are some tools which are available online. I'm going to talk about those tools which you can use to manage your references. These tools are paid also, paid and free also. We are going to talk about both tools. Okay, so the first tool about which can actually record your references of electronic and printed matter, and which can work as online bibliographic management tools also, it is RefWorks. Okay, so RefWorks actually, for this, an institution should take the subscription of the RefWorks. Okay, after that the members of the institution can use it free. Okay, so so institution has to take subscription for this RefWorks, and what we can do, that we can save unlimited number of references here. We can save full text here, and we can save the research materials here. We can import the online database catalogs, reference management tools when to your computer. Okay, so the good quality of this is that it save quickly references, and it is also, it can save the full text from any web page. So this is the specialty of this tool which we can use. Okay, and the this is actually the RefWorks web page which I have shown here. The Actually, when I was reading the book, A Handbook for Literary Research, so when I was reading that chapter, the tools and techniques for literary research, so I found that the writer has given references of some sources, and when I of some sources which are not available on internet. This is actually the very big problem with internet, that it is a fast changing world. We can see a source right now, and after some time we can find that this source is deleted, this comment is deleted, this post is deleted, this video is deleted. So this is actually the very much challenging thing on internet. So what we have to do, that if you find any material, so we have to save it as soon as possible. We have to take the references of that source as soon as possible, and we should also mention the date on which we have access this source. This is the things which are mentioned in MLA handbook also. So I have used here the source which are available today. So I have excluded the source which are deleted. Okay. The second tool which I am going to talk about is EndNote. EndNote is also working like RefWorks also. EndNote is also having the hundreds of online resources which it can search, or it can also try to find out also it can search PDF also. So it can also create rules automatically, and it can organize the references. It can keep your data accurate. It can share a library also, just a portion with a group of collaboration options. It can provide write or read only access to your library. It can build your bibliography. So there are so many things which can be done by this EndNote, EndNote software, EndNote website also. But again, you need a subscription for this site also. So there is a one tool which I find very useful, which we are also using. This is actually the web page of the EndNote. This this is a tool which I find which is very useful, and which is very good to carry on your research, and which is free of cost also. So this is given by Microsoft. The name of the app is OneNote. This OneNote app you can download anywhere, or you can, if you want to use it as a website, so you can use it as a you can go on Google, you can try to find out this Microsoft OneNote. You will find a website. You can make your account free of cost there, and you can start collecting the material. Okay, you can use it in your Android app also. You can use anywhere, means this app is available on Android, iOS, or everywhere. Okay, so this app is very good because it can capture your content. If you are, means you can write by your handwriting also. You can use the ink, and you can write by your finger also. You can create any notes here. You can organize the notepad. There is sticky notes also. Okay, and the other feature which is very good of this app is, this app actually can record the any lecture also, record any speech also. MLA handbook says that we can quote from any unpublished work as well. If there is any work which is unpublished, if there is any presentation which is given in any international or national conference, we can quote from that presentation also. But in that case, it should be properly documented. So this app works very well in recording those things. You can actually record the any speech of any uh, speaker in conference or seminar or anywhere. Okay, so this is all about there are three actually tools which we have talked about to that how you can manage your references, because this is a very important thing which one should think. The next thing which we are going to talk about is material. So material is very important, and there is types of material. Means we have to find out the primary sources, we have to find out the secondary sources, we have to find out a lot of kind of material. So we are going to talk about the tools which you can use to find out the material on internet. Okay, and what are those tools? The first actually tool which can be used for journal guides and reference work. For example, means if you are doing research, so we use the tool which can be used as a reference work. In most of the universities, we find the reference library also, where you find the encyclopedia, where we find the thesis, dissertation, which are used as a reference. Okay, so here actually this source, there is one source which is giving a very general flavor to the scope of literary research. The name of the source is Oxford Dictionary of National Biography. So this is a dictionary which is having the biographies. Okay, and this is a online biographical source. Okay, what you can do from this source, you can print, you can download, you can export the entries, and when you will go to the source, you will find that there are 60,000 biographies which are available on this source, and there are 11,000 portraits which are available there. Institution has to take subscription, and there are some biographies which are available free of cost also. Or you see, when we are working on any author, so we have to take his biographical notes from a reliable source. Sometimes we actually use such kind of information, biographical information, which are inaccurate. So we can take that material from this source. Okay, this is actually the web page of the Oxford Dictionary of National Biography, where we find around 60,000 biographies there. Okay, the second actually reference work which I found is American National Biography for American Subjects. Okay, if you are working on American author and if you want to find out their biographical details, so you can, this website is very good. Okay, this is also going to give you good and authentic record of biographies of American authors. Okay, here we find 19,000 biographies, and these biographies are of very significant, influential, and notorious figures from the American history. Subscription is required again here, but there are some biographies of literature which are available free of cost. I'm going to show you. See, when I actually try to find out the biography of Walt Whitman on this website, so I found it free. It was free, and it was having the full access. Even I was able to download this biography also. So this tool can be used to find out the biographies of American authors. Okay, the next is a very journal encyclopedia. Now it's not possible to go in the universities to find out the encyclopedia there. So there is a journal encyclopedia which is Britannica. It is available online. I think most of you are aware about it. So there are 5,861 biographies which are available on this page, and these biographies are free of cost. Okay, and except means if you will see, or if you will see this source, so instead of biography you will find a lot of material there. If you want to study about any literature, Persian literature, if you want to study about anything on English literature or British literature, so you will find the information on this page. Okay, so we are going to talk about the authentic source, where you can find out the authentic information. So this is a very authentic source from where you can quote the things. Okay. The next thing which is again there, it is Oxford Reference Online Search. So this is again given by the Oxford University Press. And what is, there are two kind of subscription available there. The first one is free, where you can talk about the where this is the Oxford Reference Library, where the new titles and editions are given, and throughout the year. And there is you will find the details, bibliographical details of the books, and you will find the summary of that books. So this is a very unique feature which has been given by Oxford University Press. But if you are having the premium subscription of this source, so then you will be able to actually download the material. So you can do the fact checking, fast fact checking you can do here. So this is a very good source when you have to actually talk about your research, when you have to give the reference in your research. So this is a very good source. Okay, this is the page, and I was looking for Oxford Companion to English Literature, 4th edition. So it is going to talk about all the bibliographical details, and it is also giving the summary of the books. So this is a very good tool. The next is, which is available there, is Oxford English Dictionary. So here we are not going to talk about the dictionary in general, means we are not going to talk about the ordinary dictionary here, because there is a lot of source which are available online, which are giving you the access of Webster Dictionary, or maybe Cambridge dictionaries, Longman dictionaries. There are lots of dictionaries available online, but this dictionary is different. Why? Because we find that there are 66 lakh words, there are 3.5 million quotations there, and it is covering around 1000 years of English. Okay, and what we find in these 6 lakh words, we find that their pronunciation, we find their meaning, their history, and we find 3 million quotation which are justifying them. And these quotations have been taken from literature and specialist periodicals also. So these actually, this dictionary is also very good to give the reference of the particular uh, word. Okay, this is the web page of the dictionary, and this is also telling you in the beginning that how you can access this dictionary, how you can there are some videos which can tell you. Okay, now we are going to talk about indexes and abstracts. Okay, indexes and abstract. See, when actually we start our research, so there is one problem actually which we face, and this is a very common thing actually, which you are also finding out, that what we see that our student says that on which topic they have to do the research. Nowadays, dissertation is also introduced in PG course, and PG students also come sometime and they ask us that on which topic they have to carry on their research, and then we actually suggest them a topic. And we also ask them that try to find out whether somebody else has done the research on this work or not. So this is actually very big challenge for us also. In social science, there are some institutions, there are some actually agencies which provide the information of the research which has been already done on a particular topic. But this is not the scenario in English in literary research. So one has to find out himself or herself the research which has been already done on the particular topic. So these are some, I'm going to discuss some source here from where you can search the existing scholarship on the particular work. So the first is Modern Language Association International Bibliography. So you are very well aware, I think, about the MLA, because MLA is the style we have to follow in our research. So in that search section, we can find out the existing scholarship, that which kind of work has been done on a particular author. Okay. Then there is again a new source, Annual Bibliography of English Language and Literature. In this source also we can actually try to find out the work which has been already done. So we can find out those works. These are some website which has been given here. Okay, so Annual Bibliographic English Language and Literature, Routledge, and British Humanities. So these are actually some of the source where we can find out the earlier research done on the particular topic. Okay, so if you will see, the first is this Annual Bibliography of English Language and Literature. This source is available. This source, I have given the link of the source, and through this source you can find out the work which has been done. And there is British Humanities Index. Here again we can find out those information about the work works already done. Now, this we are going to talk about the library catalogs. Library catalogs also help us to see the existing scholarship, and it also help us to give or to use secondary material or to find out the secondary sources on our particular topic. So the first actually library catalog about which we are going to talk about is British Libraries Integrated Catalog. So here we find around 170 million items, and if you will see that the other sides of this library, it they are giving you the access of the newspaper, to the sound recordings, patrons, prints and drawings, maps and manuscripts. So you will find a lot of things there. Okay, the another is Library Hub Discover. So this is again a library hub where you can find out the records, and the records is around more than 4 crore records you can find out here. And the contribution, there are around 164 institutions who are contributing to this source. And this is open, this is also having open access of some items. You see in this web page I have shown you that I try to find out the topic Othello, and here I was able, there is some open access which has been given. This actually this particular mark, this is indicating the open access, and when it is shown here, so means I am able to download this work also. So this is a very good catalog where you can download the some material of which is having open access. Okay, the next is we are going to talk about, till now we have talked about the library catalogs of Britain. Now we are going to talk about the library catalog which is available all over the world. So this is called WorldCat. On this WorldCat, this is the largest bibliographic database. Okay, and this here what you can do, you can find out the international holdings of any given publication. So it is a very comprehensive database where you can find out the books detail. Okay, now we are coming to India. In India, we are having the InfluNet. InfluNet, you know very well, most of you are aware about this initiative of the UGC. So this InfluNet is also having Analyst program. In Analyst actually is National Library and Information Service infrastructure for scholarly content. So this is actually is a initiative where you can search ebooks and e-journals. Okay, so this is a link which I have given here, and on this link many will search. For example, I try to find out the Rohinton mystery here, and there are two sources which I found here. So it's a very good tool. It's a very good tool to find out the existing scholarship and to find out the reference work as well. Okay, the next tool is again from India. It is eShodh Sindhu. eShodh Sindhu is again, it's a tool which has been given by the InfluNet. In this, what we can find out the off-campus remote access to online resources. There is no need to remain in the campus of network. We can find out anywhere in the world. So we have off-campus remote access of this online source. And what it provides? It provides actually it gives us around 10,000 plus e-journals. There are 1,64,000 ebooks and around 6 lakh of ebooks through NDL. So in this COVID-19 situation, they have made the resources free from the publisher. We can go and we can download, we can read out the journals and the ebooks. So all the resources are free nowadays. So this is eShodh Sindhu, which is from India. Then you might be aware about this. This is a very famous initiative of India. Here this is the National Digital Library of India, and this is one library all of India. Means you will find that there are around 4 crore resources there. So IIT Kharagpur actually they manage this website, and what we can find out here, we can find out ebooks, research article, audio, video, PowerPoint thesis. We can find out anything here. Okay, so this is a very good initiative where we can find out all the material. Okay, now we are going to talk about the primary sources and ebooks. We have talked about the library catalogs. Now we are going to talk about that where we can find out the primary sources. You know very well, you are very well aware about the primary sources, the means the work of the author. So it is not possible, means if you might be aware about Amazon Kindle also, where you can find out, you can buy the works, but here we are going to talk about the work which you can freely download also. Okay, so here the project Gutenberg, this is the first initiative. You can go to this web page by this link, and what you find here, you can find out the more than 27,000 titles here. Okay, and this is what you can find out here. You can find out the fiction which is published before 1935. Mostly you will find these things there. Okay, and there are around 62,000 plus free books, ebooks, which are available which are available, and you can download those ebooks. On this web page, I tried to find out one short story, and this short story I found, and I was able to read this short story on this web page. So this web page is good to find out the primary sources, or if you are even if you want to read some literature, so you can just go to this site and you can read out here. Okay, the next is literature online. Literature online again is source, and but the problem with this source is that we can access this source through our library or institution. The institution has to take subscription of this course, this source. The next is, we are going to talk about here full text journals article, that from where you can download or you can study the journal articles. So the biggest source, as you know very well, it's a JSTOR. So JSTOR is the biggest source where you will find 2 million academic journals, articles, books, primary sources, and it is covering around 75 disciplines. It is a very powerful research and teaching platform, and it is also a very good tool or resource to continue our literary research, because JSTOR is have in 75 disciplines. One of the disciplines is English literature also. So we are able to find out very good number of articles on JSTOR also. I was trying to find out the article on Vikram Seth, and in this page you will find that there are some articles. There are a lot of articles which came on Vikram Seth. Okay, so then the next source about which I'm going to talk again is literature online, where you can find out the full text journals. You can download them, print them, and export them. But the main problem is that one needs subscription for this. Okay, the next is, again, it's free of cost again. It's a Project Muse. Project Muse is if you will compare with JSTOR, so it's a very smaller version, and it's a very newer database, because it is only 25 years old initiative. And what we find here, in comparison to the project, in comparison to the JSTOR, we find only 7 again. Then here, when we talk about the journal articles, so then again, it's a very good source, because it is going to provide you the access of 10,000 e-journals. And during COVID situation, 19 situation, it is free of cost. So we are getting the access of 10,000 plus e-journals free of cost on this tool. Okay. Then again, next, we cannot actually deny, we cannot forget this National Digital Library of India. It is having 4 crore resources. You will find everything on National Digital Library. Okay, then there is some journal agencies. Springer is they are publishing a lot of journals, and now they are providing open access of some few journals.
Your PPT
So
is not visible.
if you will use this source, if you will use this link, so you will find that the open access of journals have been provided by Springer here. Okay, the next is Taylor and Francis. So most of the journals, they are paid, but they are also having some open access journals, and they have provided the open access of those journals by this link. If we will click on this link, so we will find the open access of the few journals. So we can find out some research material or article from these sources also. Now going to talk about the multimedia material. So I would like to tell you that multimedia material is consisting the audio, video, picture, or anything. Okay, so these actually multimedia resources we can use in our literary research also. So the first tool is literature online. Again, you need a subscription for this. The next is poetry archive. Poetry archive actually here you are there is no need of subscription. It's provide you the free accessible poetry, and they provide the free accessible poetry from Tennyson to Smith. Okay, so here they what we find on this page is we find that the author is reading out their own poem. So we find that a lot of 517 poets we find here, and we find around 2144 poems which are free, and there are around 8076 poems for members. And nowadays they are also providing one facility that if you are a poet, if you want to read out your poem, so you can also read out your poem also. Okay, so the next is British Film Institute. BFI is also a very good initiative. In this initiative, what they are providing the excellent film and TV database. TV database means you can find out their discovery videos also. You can find out their documentaries. You can find out the other TV serials, videos there, or film there. So this, when you will click on this link, so you will find the access of these films. Okay. The next is Brisbane Education Database. On this database, subscription is required, but what you can do, you can explore the book covers, book illustration, you can create your image for the research. If you want to create image for your research or literary research, if your research is like this, that you need to design some image, so you can do on this database. Okay. The last multimedia tool, which is available in all over the world, which is free of cost, there is no need of subscription for this tool, is YouTube. Okay, all of you are aware about this. Okay, so movies, drama, poetry, documentaries, lectures, paper readings, etc. You will find a lot of things there. Okay, so it is a very remarkably rich source for literary research. And the one thing good is that we sometimes we find the recent dramatic productions also, and we find eyewitnesses news footage, which is very rare thing, which we find only on YouTube. We find authentic eyewitness news footage on this page. So this is a very good tool which we can use in, or we can take some material from this tool as well. Okay, so now when you have to identify the archives, so there are some electronic tools of Britain which are available there. For example, the first tool is UK Archives Hub. So this is a tool which is available. What you can do that we can find out the National Descriptive Database of UK here. The next archives is the National Archives. The we find the descriptions of the holdings here. So it is providing the database of 1000 years of history. So this is a very good tool to find out if you want to find out some archives electronic tool. Okay, now we are going to talk about the sources which are available in India. Okay, because our topic uh, was also focusing on the tools and techniques which are available in India. But the tools which we have earlier discussed, they are also because nowadays it's a global village. Everything is available on internet. So the tool which you can access in India on internet, that is also available in India. But there are some tools which are actually which are initiated by the government of India, which are initiated by some institution of India. We are going to talk about those tools. So the first tool is SWEM. You know, I think might be you have done some course from this tool also. It is providing the course which is taught in classroom from class 9 to post graduation. So then why we are actually talking about this tool here? See, you will see this image here. In this image, I have actually find out a research methodology workshop, which I started on 7th of July of this month. And you can also you can also join this workshop, and you can also learn the research methodology. You can about the research methods here. So swim actually is also going to contribute something in your research, enhancing your research skills. Okay, then the next tool is NPTEL. NPTEL is the National Program on Technology Enhanced Learning. As you know, this technology word, if you will see this technology word, so you will be surprised, or you will think that why, how this is connected to the literary research, because this is an initiative by the 7 IITs, and these IITs are Bombay, IIT Bombay, Delhi, Kanpur, Kharagpur, Madras, Guwahati, or Roorkee. Okay, so along with there is one Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. They are also contributing in this initiative. So as you know very well that in IITs we have English department also. The English is also taught to the BTech students. So in this on this website we find some course which are related to English literature also. I tried to find out some courses here, and you will see in this image that I found some courses which are offered by them and which are available on their website for literary research. Okay, the next tool is Infoport. Infoport actually is it's a subject gateway. In this COVID-19 situation, this Infoport actually access was given to the all colleges and universities, and they are asked to upload their content on this Infoport. My university is also uploading their content on this Infoport. They are also having their own portal. So this actually is also a very good subject gateway. Here you can find out some material. For example, if you are working on doing your research, literary research on feminism, or maybe on cultural, maybe in the field of cultural studies. So if you want to understand that term better, so you can come here and you can study the material, and after that you can understand it better, so that you can carry on your research in a good way. The next is a spoken tutorial. Spoken tutorial is also a very good initiative which has been started by MHRD. Okay, and this is a very friendly online discussion forum. What you can do that you can join a existing discussion, or you can start a new discussion. If you want to discuss something which is related to your topic, so you can discuss here. You can start a new discussion, and you will get a lot of replies from the all spoken tutorial community. They will give you the reply of their problems. So if you are having any problem during your research, so you can start a discussion forum here, and you will get a different kind of replies here. The next is UGPG MOOCs. MOOCs is again, it's a very vertical form of the SWAM. In MOOCs, they provide the online course which is having video, audio. So this is again is very good to enhance your research skill, or if you want to enhance your skills in the field of theory. So this is a very good tool. Okay. The next is EPG Pathshala. EPG Pathshala is basically for the PG students. But as I told you earlier also, that our PG students also have to carry on research during their dissertation work. So this is a very good tool. And except this, it is also providing the access of a lot of ebooks. So we can find out ebooks here, so that we can carry on our research or carry on our study. Okay. The next is Swamprabha. Swamprabha, again, it's a DTH, free DTH channel for education. Okay, so the link is given here, and on this link you can find out around 32 DTH channels which are devoted to the telecasting of high quality educational programs on 24/7. So when you will go in this website, so you will find the schedule of the program which are going to be telecast in the coming days. So you can go there and you can actually check their schedule, and after that accordingly you can see them on your TV channels. There is no need to go outside. Okay, the next is Shodh Ganga thesis. So Shodh Ganga actually is a very good initiative, and what you can find out here on Shodh Ganga, that you will find around 2,70,000 plus theses here. Okay, and see, if you want to start your research and you want to find out that who has worked on the particular topic earlier, so this is a very good place. You can come here, or if you are doing research on a particular topic, so go to Shodh Ganga, and you can find out the research which has been already done on your topic, and those research can work as references in your thesis. Okay. There is again one other initiative which I have not quoted here. With Shodh Ganga, InfluNet has also started one more initiative which is called Shodh Gangotri. So Shodh Gangotri, actually after that they could not carry on that initiative, but that website is also available there. Shodh Gangotri is having the synopsis of the research which are already going on in India, but somehow they were not able to cope up with the updation of the content. So but this website is also existing. Okay, the next source which is available and which can help you to carry on your research is Vidwan. Okay, Vidwan again, it's an InfluNet initiative, and what you can do, you can find out the expert database and national researcher network here. When you will go in this website, you will find out 57,000 plus experts there. Okay, so if you have to actually, if you are working in a particular field, for example, if you are working in a Canadian literature field and you want to talk to the expert or you want to talk to the researcher who are already have expertise in Canadian literature, so you can go to this website, you can find out the researcher who are working in the Canadian literature field, and then you can talk to them. Their contact details are also available on Vidwan. Okay, and for teachers, it is again important if they have to give the name of some expert, or if they want to increase their community or in the field in which they are working, so they can come, they can find out the researcher who are already working in their field, and then they can talk to them. So this is also a very good initiative where you can remain in the contact of the researcher who are already working in your field. Okay, the next is again, it's a very good initiative for Bengali literature because this initiative is Society for National Learning Technology Research. Okay, so if you are doing something, if you are doing some research on Bengali writer or maybe in Bengali literature in translation, so you can download some books from here in Bengali or in English also. So this is a very good initiative which has done by the government of West Bengal. Okay, so the again another initiative which is also providing e-resources is Maulana Azad Library, which is of Aligarh Muslim University, and this is you can have the access of open e-resources on their website. And what they are doing, they are providing the access of books and research paper on this website. You can even, they are providing the downloading link of those research paper and books also, which are available in their library. So this is a very good initiative which has been done by the AMU, Aligarh Muslim University. So it is also very good tool which we can use in our literary research. Okay, the next tool about which we will talk about is McGill Library. It is open and free resources library. So they, during this COVID-19 time, this is providing temporary, this is open and this is providing the free resources. So we can also download some books and research paper here as well. So then we are going to talk about some other resources also which are available there. Okay, so the other resources, if you will see, if this resource is directory of open access journals. This directory is having around 15,000 journals, and it is having 11,973 searchable articles. Means you can search anything within the text of the articles, and there are around 5 crore articles here which you can find out here. So this directory of open access journals is, it is providing you the access of journals and research articles which is related to your research. So you can find out there, you can read out them, and you can quote in your research. The next is open knowledge repository. This is the World Bank. World Bank means that this repository is having the it is having the collections of the resources from all over the world. Okay, so this is an open knowledge repository where you can actually have the access of these resources here, these things here. The next is okay, so this is all from my side, and I have talked about most of the resources here. Okay, and with this thing, I also want to actually tell you one more thing, that when you are doing your literary research, so you have to be very careful about the topics, about the web sources from which where you are taking the material, because you have to take the material from a reliable web sources. If you are taking material from a reliable web sources, only then you should quote it in your research. For example, there are some researcher or there are some expert who says that we should not quote anything, we should not use quote anything from the Wikipedia, because Wikipedia source is not reliable. So when we are giving the free hand by MLA handbook also that we can quote from any source, but one has to be very careful when he or she is quoting from a particular source. We have to check the reliability of that particular source. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. It was such an informative session, sir.
Thank you.
I'm so sure that it will benefit not only the research scholars, but all the teachers who are present in this session, because we are helping out our UG and PG students with their dissertations. And all these informations will be beneficial for all of us. So thank you so much, sir. I think our participants have some questions to ask.
Yeah.
Participant, unmute yourself. One question that is asked. Hello, sir.
Yeah, please carry on.
One question is, can you share some trusted plagiarism app which we can access? Plagiarism app.
Okay. See, what is actually in our university, what they have done, they have actually provided us the access of Urkund. Okay, they have given us login ID and they have given the access of Urkund to even our research scholars also. So they are able to search the plagiarism on that web on Urkund. So we are having the access of Urkund also. But if you are trying to find out some open sources, so see, there are so many websites which are where you can check your plagiarism. For example, plagiarism check, or there are some other sources also. But I suggest you to find out, means do the check your plagiarism from the sources which are available in a university or in a college. Means from a you can there are two tools which are given by the UGC to the institution. The one is Urkund and the second one is Turnitin. So you can have the you can check plagiarism from that sources. Otherwise, there is not any free tool which can give you the good check.
Okay, so thank you. Dear participants, if you have any queries, you can unmute yourself and ask. There is a question from Danish. I am working on Canadian writer. How to access resources on that?
On which Canadian writer he is working on?
That he has not mentioned.
Okay, so see, I have also worked on Canadian literature, and some of my students have also worked on Canadian literature as well. So see, if you are working on Canadian literature, so there is a you can search the material. There is a particular initiative by Canadian and Indian government. It is called Shastri Indo-Canadian Institute. Okay, so he can contact to Shastri Indo-Canadian Institute, and they are having very good initiatives. Even they provide a scholarship to the research scholar to go to Canada and to find out the material. So they provide fellowship also. So if he is working on Canadian literature, so he can contact to Shastri Indo-Canadian Institute. He can remain in contact with them, and then he can have they provide books also.
Okay, so thank you.
Mhm.
No other questions have come yet. Many
Hello?
appreciative words are there. Yeah.
Hello,
Yes.
sir.
Yes.
I just want to ask not about the research sources or something. It's just that you have. When it comes to citations and all, we have two research handbooks like MLA 7th and MLA 8th is there. Now I have, as a lecturer, I have gone through these two handbooks, and I find MLA 7th more friendly rather than the MLA 8. So is it okay if we use MLA 7th rather than going for the 8th, even though 8th is the most updated form, but I find it a kind of a messy, and not only me but also all of the students, I have guided.
Okay, see, if you actually see MLA 8th edition is it's very updated edition, and according to me, I find MLA 8th edition is good in comparison to 7th,
Okay.
because MLA 7th edition is not providing you the facility to quote from the old sources. Means you were not able to quote from any comment or any lecture which has no any speech which has been given by any expert in conference or seminar. So it was not giving you the facility to quote from that access. But now you can quote from any source. So MLA MLA as 8th edition is good in my sense, because in MLA 7th edition you have to tell about the medium of source also, whether it is print medium, whether it is web source, whether it is, so you have to tell about those things also. But in MLA 8th edition, these things is not there. The problem of place of publication was also resolved in MLA 8th edition. So in my view, MLA 8th edition is good, and we should always follow the latest edition. Otherwise, what will happen that if you will follow the 7th edition, so some expert will say that you have not followed the 8th edition, so they will not approve your research. You know?
But
This
when
is
it
the
comes to eighth edition, I think links URLs are more specified. But when it comes to
that
seventh,
that
URLs they don't ask for URLs, I guess.
that's my point actually. See, we are also facing this kind of situation nowadays that we cannot access the library, so we have to depend on URLs. So the focus of MLA 8th edition is on the web sources. This is the more important. So maybe that you will find some problem in using it, but it is more friendly to the researcher, because researcher can go from the web sources in that case.
But sir, but after a while, the link starts disappearing. Like for example, like Times of India might be having a news on 2003, and after that, they will remove that post. And if you click the link, it will not go there.
See, this is the I told you that web sources are this internet is the fast changing world. You can find out a material in the morning, and in the evening you will not be able to find out that material. So the problem has been resolved by MLA handbook. They said that you have to actually you can what you can do, that you can give the date of access. Okay, with
Okay.
the web sources, then this is not your responsibility whether that link is working after that or not. But you have to give the date of access, that on which date you access that information from that particular URL.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So there is a question from Pinky. Could you suggest some new research areas in literature?
It's a very difficult question. New areas in literature. See, I think she is going to start the research. That's why she is asking this kind of question. So my suggestion is this: that if she want to work on new areas of literature, so she should actually she can work on the new writers. For example, Amish Tripathi, Chitra Banerjee Devkarni, and she can work on those writers. She can find out the contemporary writers who are writing nowadays, and she should also see the work which got Nobel Prize, which got Man Booker Prize. She should see those works, and that she can work on those writers.
Okay, sir. We have some participants in YouTube as well. They are watching our YouTube presentation. So there is a question from there. One question is, can you say some resources for film studies?
For film studies, I
Film
have,
studies, film.
yeah. See, the resources which I have talked about, they are not related to only the means they are also related to film studies. If you are going to talk about Britannica, if you are if you are talking about YouTube, if you are talking about Swim, if you are talking about NIPTEL, National Digital Library, so all those resources are having the content of film studies as well.
Okay, sir. There is a question from Akansha. She has written that I'm interested in oral literature for research, but there are only a few resources available as documents. Can you suggest some references for oral literature?
Oral literature. See, she has to. She can do one thing, that she can go on the she can go on the InflibNet Enlist website, and she can find out the book which is written on which are available on oral literature. And Enlist InflibNet program will also tell you that in which library of the India that book is available, or whether this book has been taken by somebody else or not. So oral literature, you will not be able to find out material on online. So it will good that she can go to the she can go to the Enlist InflibNet website, and she can find out some books, and then she can visit those libraries. After that, she will be able to find out some material. Or
Okay, sir. There is a question from Rimpi Sonowal. She asks, sometimes it happens that we can't access the recent published text for free. Recent published texts. So will that be available? Can we access them through your prescribed websites?
no. See, there are some rules. There are some rules. The rules are that see, there are some rules. You might be aware about the copyright rules. You are also aware about the intellectual property rights. Okay, so if somebody has written something, so they have the copyright of that particular work. Okay, so you cannot get that work for free, or you cannot get that work on those on those resources. So what you have to do, that if you want to uh, means you have to purchase that. That's it. There is not any uh, one actually website I want to suggest, but that website have some illegal issues. This website is legal issue is that they are not following this copyright and intellectual property rights rules. And the name of that website is libzen, libzen, libzen.is. So, okay, if you will search on this website, so definitely you will find some timely books as well. But again, this website is having some issue, copyright issue and intellectual property right issue.
Okay, sir. There is a question from Ambika Pillai. Can you share your views on the post-pandemic prospects of literary research?
Yeah, pardon please?
Can you share your views on the post-pandemic prospects for literary research? Your views on that. Post-pandemic.
Okay. See, literary research, if you sorry, we will talk about this later. We can
Okay,
have
sir.
more questions. Yeah.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
You have any URL for doing research in Jamba Lahiri's works?
Madam, do one thing. You
Hmm.
can actually go to the Shodhganga website.
Ah,
You will find a lot of research there, which has been done on Jhumpal area.
Shod Ganga.
Yeah, Shodhganga.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
So there is a question from Anuja. What are the important paid sites we have to access for doing research?
Hello. Yeah,
Hello?
I do. Yeah,
Can you hear me, sir?
yeah, please.
What are the paid important sites, important paid sites, which are not free, of course, which are paid sites for
For what?
research? For
For what?
research. For the,
See, the most of the site which I have discussed and which are important to carry on your research, they are having the open access. And if you want to take some paid sites, so you can go to the JSTOR and you can have the subscription of, but JSTOR provides the access to subscription to the institutions. Mostly websites, they provide subscription to the institution, not to individuals. So there is no need to pay anything for the research. You can go to the, you can have the open access of the thesis, journals, research articles, or you can, if you are the student or research scholar of a university or college, so then you can have the access of research articles also. There is not any problem. There is no need to pay anything.
Okay, sir. Then another question, is Project Muse access free?
Yeah, to some extent.
Okay, sir. There is another kind of difficult question for you. I have a keen interest to do research in English language, but not in literature. Can you assist me?
Yeah, actually, if she want to work on English language, so she has means so what she wants, she can. These sources are having, means some of these sources are having the access of the research which can be done in language also. For example, all the Indian sources which I have told about, means Shodh Ganga, E-Shodh, so all the sources which I have told, so they are having the content of language also, the research which has been done on language also. And there is one actually website, one society which is called Linguistic Society of India, which is having its office in Pune. So she can have the membership of that society, and they publish their journals also. So she can get the journals, and she can have the idea that which kind of research are going on in linguistics also, or language also. So all the sources which I have told, they are having the content of literary research, language research, or film study research, or any research, or maybe other disciplines also.
Okay, sir. I think she's got a very good guidance on this. Another person has asked whether I'll get a guidance to pursue my studies in education in pandemic situation.
See, as I told you that the all resources which I have told, they are having the content of around 75 disciplines. So education is also one of them. So they can find out the material on there, JSTOR, JSTOR, Shodh Ganga, InflibNet, SWAM. They are having the access, they are having the content of education also.
Okay, sir. Another related question. I want to do research on translated works of Indian regional languages. Translation of Indian regional languages. Can you suggest some references?
See, if you are if you want to work on regional languages, translated works of regional, so you can actually go to only Shodh Ganga website. Okay, Shodh Ganga and National Digital Library. These are the two sources which are very important. Shodh Ganga and National Digital Library. Other sources might be will not help him, but these two sources can help.
Okay, sir. One last question, sir. What about research on non-fiction?
What's about the research on non-fiction?
Non-fiction.
See, literature, all the genre of literature are covered on in these sources. Whether you are working on prose, whether you are working on poetry, drama, fiction, movie, whatever. So these sources will help them because they are having the all contents. They are having the contents of on that thing also.
Okay, sir. There is one more question. Is there any digital ethnography resource?
Is there any
Digital ethnography. Ethnography.
No, no, I don't know. I
Okay, sir.
was discussing about the literary research only, yeah. See, one last thing actually I would like to tell you that the sources which I have told, these sources are not particularly meant for literary research. These sources are for the other disciplines as well, and they cover all the aspects of English, whether you are working on language, whether you are working on literature, whether you are working on film studies, whether you are working on education, economics, psychology. So they are having the content of all disciplines. But as our lecture was going to talk about only literary research, so that's why we talked about the resources which we can use in our literary research. That's it.
Okay, sir. I believe all the questions are answered now. So I think it's time for us to conclude. May I invite Dr. Shiva V. Rajan, faculty of the Department of English, to propose a vote of thanks. Sheba.
Good afternoon, everyone. It gives me great pleasure to express my deep sense of gratitude to Dr. Manoj Kumar for providing a food for thought session on tools and techniques of literary research in India. Thank you, sir, for your enlightening session.
Thank you very much.
I express my profound gratitude to our principal, Dr. Sister Gigi Jonama Xavier, for her constant support in all our endeavors. I thank our head of the department, Dr. Lima Anthony, for her moral support and guidance. My hearty thanks to the coordinators of SPECTRA 2020, Dr. Savmi Mary and Ms. Ruthi Francis, for all their efforts to make this webinar series a grand success. I thank all my colleagues for this support. And on behalf of the Department of English, I am grateful to all the participants for their wholehearted cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheba. And thank you, sir, for all the ways that you have taken to give such an informative session.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay.
And dear participants, there are some points to be told to you. One thing is the feedback link is given via chat box in Google Meet, in YouTube live streaming, as well as in Telegram group. So do try to fill the feedback link today itself and submit it before 7 p.m. Don't ask for the feedback link via mail. That is a disturbance for us. Sorry to say that. And next thing, only those who have attended all the 4 sessions will be issued certificates. And we need some processing time since we have to calculate the assessment and the feedback. We need some processing time to issue the certificate. So within 7 days, I assure you, before 75th of July, we will be mailing you the certificates of the webinar series. All the eligible participants will be getting the certificates via mail. So thank you for your cooperation and support. Thank you so much. Yes, the PPTs will be sent via certificates. The eligible candidates or those who have attended all the 4 sessions will be getting the certificates. And